ahead and jump into it. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking y'all to school today. If y'all don't see, I got the big whiteboard, got my marker, got a small whiteboard, same marker pen, index cards. But for the ones that's watching the video, not only my Oregon fans and my other watchers who's just college football fans in general, today we'll be talking about the expansion of 6 teams. Not 8, not 12, not 24, not 32. A lot of people have said those numbers, but they never went in depth on why they say those numbers. And pretty much Joe just throwing those out there. But me, I say 6. I'm going to give you the reason why I say it should be 6 teams in the college football playoffs. We really finna break this down, finna go into depth, we finna dissect this, and we're gonna jump straight into it. By all means, leave a comment what you guys think, if you agree, disagree, how many teams you think after watching this, because I'm finna give y'all some facts, and yeah, let's go ahead and jump into it. So here on my whiteboard, as you guys can see right here, and on that I'll put them up here too as well too for the ones who don't want to squint. But yeah, so we have the NBA, we have NFL, we have WNBA, we have college basketball, we have college baseball and softball, and college football. So with all these numbers, y'all probably wondering what's all these numbers right here, right? So if we're talking playoff format, stay with me because we're going to talk a lot of numbers and we're really going to get into depth of playoff formats, rules and regulations, how many teams in a whole league. The NBA has 30 teams total in the league. 16 of those teams make the playoffs. It's 2 conferences, 16 on the West, 16 on the East. We all know it's single elimination. Bow, 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 bow. Best out of 7. 2 go to the championship. Best out of 7. 4 games straight for one team. They win it all. Cool. Now, half of the NBA team, 16 out of 30. You know, 16 times 16 is 32. But so we say over half, like 55-60%, around that range, makes it to the playoffs. Okay, stay with me. Now let's move on to the NFL, right? NFL has 12 teams that make it to the playoffs. You know, you got a wild card, which is technically the first round of the playoffs, right? So 12 teams make it, but also we have 32 teams in the NFL, which makes sense. They don't go by ranking, they go by divisions, in which I say that having 32 teams, you have the NFC, you got the AFC, which 16 teams are in the NFC, 16 teams are in the AFC, broken down to 4 teams and 4 divisions. Conferences. Okay, so 12 out of 32, that's a good bit, you know what I'm saying? Plus you got the wild card, so you know what I'm saying? A team who can go 12 and 14 makes the wild card, which, you know what I'm saying, they can tweak that a little bit too, but being 12 and 4, that's damn good. But you got other teams that probably went, you know what I'm saying, 12 and 4 as well, or 13 and 3, which is still good, and we've seen it plenty of times. But wild card give the dark horse a chance to make it, which is cool. So stay with me about 12 teams making out 32, which is fairly, you know what I'm saying, that's under 50%. That's what, like 35-40%. But still, that's still good just because there's only 32 teams in the NFL. Cool. So now we're going to jump into the WNBA, which WNBA has 12 teams, right? 8 of those teams make it to the playoffs, in which they go off of ranking the top 8 teams. First being first seed, the second best team will be second seed, and so on. And not only that, first round they do a single elimination. Second round they do a single elimination. Semifinals they do best out of 5, and the championship they do best out of 5. And with that being said, 8 out of 12 teams, that's what? 75%? Yep, 75%, 80%, around that. I'm not, you know what I'm saying, I'm not great with numbers, so the ones who watch this be like, oh, you kind of all this. Just stay with me. It's 12 WNBA teams, 8 of those make it. Stay with me as I say this. How many teams are in the league compared to how many make it? So let's move on to college basketball. And we all know college basketball, this is where we start to get in-depth things. So listen, tell your kids, got the room for Bobby, talk to you right now. No offense, just we finna really start getting in-depth or what's going on. So with college basketball, we all love March Madness. We love making our brackets, you know what I'm saying? You know, I had Villanova winning last year. I think they won me like $250. I think that was last year. The year before that, the year Villanova won, I won. You know what I'm saying? But let's get back on topic. So in college basketball, as we all know, March Madness, 68 teams make it. It's two sides broken down. You know what I'm saying? We all know how that bracket goes. And for the ones who don't, 68 of those teams make it, and there are 353 D1 basketball teams. D1, they go by mid-major and high major. Mid-major would be like Utah State, you know what I'm saying? Shout out D-Per. But Utah State is considered a mid-major, which is technically a small D1 basketball school. They are not like Oregon or like Kentucky or Duke. Those are like high major D1s. But overall, it's 358 D1 schools, right? 68 of those teams make it. First round is the first four. You know, the final four is the last four. The first round, which is kind of like wild card in a sense, is called first four. Those first four out. Then most people, when I first say 68, they're like, no, 64 teams. No, the first four is technically the wild card, technically first round. But after those first teams get knocked out, you know what I'm saying, they try to get the dark horses in. They get knocked out. Then the bracket technically starts. It's like a buy-in with those four teams, whatever. First round is 64 teams, then everybody compete. We all know it's single elimination by that. So, like I said, first four is technically wild card. First round, 64 teams, which is broken down to fours. 16 teams in this conference, 16 teams in this conference, and so on. You know what I'm saying? So, and then they get down to the final four that we all loved in the finals. Cool. But as I said, it's 353 teams. If we want percentage again, on the 68 teams out of 353, that's still a lot, you know what I'm saying? You know, it's 353, which is a lot, but 68 teams having the chance to make it to the playoff in the March Madness is still awesome. Having that almost 400 teams, that's still a lot. With 68 teams, almost 100 teams make it. Perfect, fine, cool. Let's go ahead and move along. College baseball and softball have 297 D1 schools. Right? Stay along with me. 297 schools. 64 of those schools get to make it to the playoff bracket, you know what I'm saying? And they're broken up to fours, which is 32 is on one side, 32 is on the other side, broken down to four, you know what I'm saying? Four double headers, double elimination rounds, right? So stay with me. They play double elimination all the way down to the last two teams playing in the world. What they call the World Championship. I'm not too big on baseball, but me doing my research, that's what they do. They do double elimination, half on each side. Cool. With that being said, 297 D1 schools, and 64 of those get to play and compete for a national championship, which is great. I don't know the percentage on that. The number's a little bit too high, but the main number is high and the buy-in number is high, which is great. So now, let's jump into college football. It's about to get juicy. This is what y'all been waiting for. College football, there is 130 D1 programs. Stay with me, right? And only 4 get to make it to the playoffs. Only 4. Out of 130 schools, only 4 get to make them. And out of those 4, 2 majority, they come out the same. They come out the same conference, which you're talking SEC bias. But for anybody who's an SEC fan that's watched this, it's okay. I'm not trying to pick jokes, but we all know that more than likely, damn near every year they try to push for 2 SEC teams to make it, which is true. But let's go ahead and jump into it. It's single elimination. 4 teams make it. Seed 1 plays seed 4. Seed 2 plays seed 3. Winner out of those games makes it to the national championship. But I I'm gonna tell you why 6 makes the absolute most sense of expansion and why they should leave it at 6 and keep it at 6 and make it 6. Let's jump into it. Before I bring my big whiteboard out, you know what I'm saying? I done drew some stuff up already. Let's go into depth and talk numbers. A lot of people just say like, oh, they should just do this number, that number, but you have to go into how things are going to be paid for, where things are going to be played, who take the loss, what's going on, the first contract that was signed for these teams to play on what channel. Nobody talks about that. So me saying like 6, originally I was thinking like, yo, it's a Power 5 conference, which is 5 teams. Why not have the conference champion out of each Power 5 make it to the finals, correct? Y'all follow me? And then that 6th team could be a SEC team that they love, which, you know what I'm saying, the run-up SEC can, you know what I'm saying, they could be that 6th team, or the group of 5, which is outside the other 5 conferences, which is you got the Independent, you got Mountain West, you got the American Conference, you got the Sun Belt, you got Mid-American, the AAC, those teams. Now, would those teams come out, make the playoffs, and beat a team like Alabama year in, year out? Who knows? Me, I would say no, they won't, but anything is possible in college football, and we know that. So, y'all stick with me. So, I'm gonna read my notes too, because there's a lot of numbers, a lot of talking, so y'all stay with me and listen. I'm trying to talk as loud as I can, but stay with me. In 2012, ESPN agreed to pay $7.3 billion over 12 years for broadcasting rights to all 7 games, which in total is $608 million a year for the playoffs, college football playoffs. So playoffs started in 2014. So in 2012, ESPN signed the contract like, listen, we're gonna give y'all $7.3 billion for us to cover all the ESPN games. I mean, all the championship games, right? So you would think like, okay, it's only 4 teams that make it, right? So they're already in the contract. So you would think like, oh man, they're already in contract, so that's why they can't expand the teams. Wrong. They still can't add 2 more teams. ESPN either can rework the contract and pay out more, or the college football committee, NCAA association can make up or drop another contract with CBS or any other company, you know, NBC, TNT. They can come with another TV program provider and add those 2 teams. Or ESPN can be greedy and add, you know what I'm saying? No shade, no, you know what I'm saying? But ESPN could rework the contract and throw more money. But let's go into depth of how I said $608 million a year for the playoffs. So that's how much money is being spent each year. This year playoffs is going to be $608 million that they're paying, ESPN is paying for the playoffs to the NCAA. So let's go ahead and break these numbers down a little bit more. So $608 million a year, correct? After $125 to $150 million is paid in expenses of getting the stadium, paying, you know, advertisement, all that up under the umbrella of expenses of painting the field, all that, you know what I'm saying? The Power 5 conference splits about 71.5% of the remaining money. So out of that 608, you chop down 150. You left with, you know what I'm saying, 400. So, which averages out $250 million a year, $50 million per league, right? So, with that being said, each conference gets $50 million per year. So, each school, let's just say Pac-12, will get $4.1 million per team. So, Oregon will get their little $4 million check, Cal will get their $4 million, USC will get their $4 million. So, stay with me. So, the Power 5 conference, out of that money, the Power 5 was, stay with me. So remember, $608 million a year for the playoffs, you know what I'm saying, for each conference. So the Power 5 splits $250 million a year, right? The Group of 5 conference, which is like Indy, Mountain West, Sun Belt, AAC, those schools, right? They will split 90 mil, which is 27% of the pot, and 18 mil per league. So it's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6 different. Excuse me. So 18 mil divided by 6 is what each school would get. You know what I'm saying? You can pause this and go to your calculator real quick. Get out time. Yeah, that number. That's what each school, like Buffalo and Utah State, those type of schools are getting from the pot. 27%, the group of 5. You got the Power 5, you got the group of 5. You got the Indy. So, let's speak on Indy, which is Notre Dame, BYU, New Mexico State, schools like that. It's like 6 of them. I can't think of all 6, but stay with me. Notre Dame receives 1%, which is $3.5 to $4 million for being independent. And FBS, which is D1AA, they only get 0.5% of the pot, which is chump change. We're not even going to count that. So we all say, why don't Notre Dame just join the ACC year in, year out? They're smart. For them being independent, they're getting the same check that the Power 5 teams are getting, which is, like I said, Oregon get 4.1, you know what I'm saying? And they're in the league, Notre Dame get 3.5 to 4 mil each year just for being independent, and they just get, even if they don't make the playoffs, they still get the check. From my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong on that part. So that's how the whole pie is broken down. Like I said before, the Power 5 makes up of 5 conferences. You got the Pac-12, Big 10, SEC, ACC, and the Big 12, right? And more than likely, 4 teams, if we're going off rankings, which they do, the top 4 teams make it to the playoffs, correct? So, when you think the other group of 5 conferences, which makes up 66 teams, you got 6 from the Indy, 12 from the Mountain West, 12 from the AAC conference, 10 from the Sun Belt, 14 for Conference USA, and 12 from Mid-American Conference. That's 66 teams who, no matter how good they do, will probably never make it to the college football playoffs, which is 4 teams. Let's be honest. You know what I'm saying? Give us a thumbs up if you think that's true. 66 of those teams from the group of 5 will not make it. And we're not talking D1AA. We're not talking about NDSU and small schools like that. We're talking about like the Buffaloes and other schools. They would never get a shot. Even though they can go undefeated, they still, North Texas can go undefeated this year and will not get a bid to the playoffs. They won't. Let's just be honest. They won't. And is that fair? Hell no. Will they beat Alabama? Hell no. But you never know. You know what I'm saying? I'm not discrediting that because it's college football. Anything can happen. We just see what happened with Oklahoma and Kansas State. Even though Kansas State is part of the Power 5. But still, you get what I'm saying. Some of them schools that be built, UAB probably can beat Kansas State right now. Let's be honest. You know what I'm saying? They had a good game against Miami, if we're being honest. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Austin Watkins. But remember that, though. So, now we're coming to the end of the video. Once again, here we go. So I got my big board, right? You guys see that? Yep. So here we are. We got the college football 16 expansion. So it's 5 power conferences and only 4 teams makes it. So it's 5 Power 5 conferences, only 4 teams make it. So with that being said, one conference might not even make the playoffs, which is silly. So do we go to just a 5 games and add one more team? Nah, make it 6. And I say 6 because you have Indy. So now there's 6. Okay. So now let's just say ACC this year, and this is going off in 2020. There was a 16 expansion for playoffs, which would have been a perfect year because this year doesn't count for eligibility for nobody, and this would have been the best year to test 6 teams, which is never too late. You know what I'm saying? They might as well do it. But anyways, let's say ACC. Let's say who's doing good at ACC right now. let's go Miami for example. Miami's doing damn good. They got them playing Clemson in the ACC championship, right? Let's say Miami upset Clemson in the regular season and the bowl game. You know what I'm saying? In the conference championship game. So we go Miami. Miami will represent the ACC. Okay. Now we're going to the SEC. LSU just got their ass whooped by Mississippi State and Mike Leach. You know what I'm saying? Let's go Bama. Nick Saban, you know what I'm saying? You can't keep him down for too long. Nick Saban. Let's go SEC wins the SEC. Alabama win the ACC championship. So let's go Alabama. Bam. Well, Alabama winning the SEC championship. Big Ten, come on, Ohio State. Let's not even play with that. So Ohio State wins the Big Ten conference, which I think whoever have the best record wins anyways. Or I think they did just switch it where they got a conference game now. Pac-12, let's not even play. Oregon all day. You know what I'm saying? Because we're gonna run the tables anyways. So Oregon wins Pac-12 and Big 12. Who we go with Big 12? Let's go with Baylor. You know what I'm saying? A team like Baylor, why not? Let's go Baylor. Baylor wins the Big 12 conference championship. And remind you that the rankings, top 25, will still be in place. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? That's individually, because that gives a chance for smaller schools like the other group of 5 schools to be a top 25, and that helps with their recruitment as well too. So that 6th bid will either go to the best ranked team out of Mountain West, AAC, Sunbelt, USA, and Mid-America or Indy. That 6th bid can go to them, or the committee or HLB could be cruel and just say the second best team out the Power 5, which let's go say SEC, because you know SEC is always down to 2 teams that they talk about making it in the bowl game, in the playoffs. So let's just go another SEC team. You know what I'm saying? Let's just go with that. So SEC runner up gets that 6th bid. So now let's do the format. So stay with me, guys. So this is what will happen, right? Say Alabama is ranked number 1, Oregon's ranked number 2. Remember, we got to keep the rankings just how we know how seeding go. And other small schools are, if they're doing good, they still be in the top 25. But we all know how SEC is and how the Power 5 is. You know what I'm saying? They will more likely get that 6th bid. So this is what we finish with. You have Alabama finished the number 1 team in the country. Oregon finished number 2, and so on. You have Ohio State finished number 3 in the country. You have Miami finished number 4 in the country. You have Baylor finished number 5. And then you have that second SEC team finishing number 6, correct? So stay with me. So now as I make the bracket, the first seed, they will have, the first ranked team, which is Bama, they will have the bye, right? Which makes sense. Bama has the bye. They're number 1. So, as we move along, I make the bracket of the 6-game bracket. And here you have it, right? You guys see it? Oregon and Bama being the number 1, number 2 ranked team in the country, they will have the bye week. So that's 2 teams out with the bye week. Now you still got the 4-game schedule. As we talked about, ESPN pays for those 4 games. Now you gotta think about the 2 extra games they have. They can make a contract with, you know what I'm saying? CBS. Let's go with CBS. So Bama, Oregon on the bye week. Miami plays Baylor 4 and 5. Okay, Miami and Baylor. Who we going with? I will go with Miami. And Ohio State Kentucky was the runner-up for the SEC, right? Now, Ohio State Kentucky. Ohio State beat that ass. Okay, now, so now we have Oregon, Ohio State, Bama, Miami. Okay. So, Bama, Miami. Let's just say Miami the dark horse, okay? Miami makes it to national championship. Ohio State, Oregon. Let's go Oregon. So now you have Miami, Oregon in the national championship. So, bam. Or we can take out that Kentucky team and put the best ranked team from the group of 5 conference. So hopefully you guys still paying attention with me with the money that ESPN pays out and how it's established right now. If there was to add 2 more teams, it wouldn't hurt the NCAA at all. In reality, it would help them generate more money. And not only that, they can bring in another partnership with a whole nother TV provider. So to say 6 teams isn't enough or too many, it's not true. It's perfect. Everybody from the Power 5, which everybody loves, should make it. Whoever is the winner of their conference in the Power 5 should have an automatic bid in the playoffs. That 6 team, we can get creative with it. Either one team out the group of 5, the other 5, or the next best team out of the Power 5, which would be an SEC team that happens year in, year out. So, y'all leave a comment. That's all I got, man. And I just sat here and thought about it, but real talk, that's what it should be. It should be a 6-team expansion. Leave it at 6. 8 is way too many. 12 is way too many. Not to count how many games they do have in the regular season. You can knock out one of those games and listen, it'd be way more competitive if they did it that way. Seriously. So y'all leave a comment. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that. I'm Lackavelli, the P is for Pirate, like always. And if anybody from NCAA watch this video, hey, listen, throw me a check because I came up with it. I debunked the fact that 4 isn't enough. With all 130 teams in D1, y'all only choose 4? Come on, man. I can do better than that, man. So, yeah. Y'all stay tuned for the next video. I'm Lack. I'm out.